So I left you here. I left you here. All of you were supposed to be doing this. I showed you how to do the first one. So of course it is 9 minus k equals 0. So k equals 9. K9. That was a rough question to do. X-intercept is -2. So what's the coordinates of that x-intercept? -2, 0. And that is, of course, an x and a y. And in that equation, of course, we have an x and a y. 3x plus 2y equals k. My x is -2. So -6 equals k. And I cannot stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how else to explain it to you that this is an x and this is a y and this is an x and this is a y, which means any number you have for x can go anywhere you see an x. Any number that you have for y can go anywhere that you see a y. Can I make that any clearer? Does everybody understand in math class when you see two numbers written with a comma between them and round brackets around them, that 99 times out of 100 that is an x and a y? Yeah. If it is not an x and a y, it is an IV and a dv. Okay? And those coordinates can go into line equations at any time. Does everyone understand that? Okay. Because it seems to have been lost on some of your peers. What is this guy's coordinates? Zero, -3. And 3x plus 2y equals k. So what is on this side?
Not the x.
He's gone because it's 3 times 0 plus -2 times -3 equals k. So -6 equals k. What's the coordinates here? 0, 7. 3 times 0 plus 2 times 7 equals k. 14 equals k. And last two. Uh-oh, it's different. Can we do it? Yeah. Yes, because it isn't different at all, is it? Sure. No. It's not negative at all. 3x plus 2y, and y is 7. Grumph. What is this? An x. What is this? A y. 3 x's plus 2 y's get me k. 3 x's is 3 times 2, plus 2 y's is 2 times -1 equals k. 6 minus 2 equals k. K equals 4. And lastly, -12 plus 6 equals k. -6 equals k. Can everybody do it? Good, which means when I turn the page over to the assignment that has one of my top 10 fonts, fontdiner.com sparkly. Come on, that's a nice font. Did you guys get that font? Okay.
Is the word
No, font has been around forever, since the beginning of movable type.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, there's no word based off of it in English language, but it's not based off
Not of which I know, but I am not a linguist.
Maybe the next slide.
I actually am a little sad I didn't study more linguistics at university because it is very interesting. I just didn't see there much potential for a career in it.
where the word the.
Because I did not, when I started university, I was not aware that some of the foremost thinkers of the 20th century were indeed linguists. For example, Noam Chomsky. But never mind. You're all going to be in IB next year. You're going to learn who Noam Chomsky is. Do yourself a favor. It would help, it would behoove you to know who Noam Chomsky is before you enter IB.
Is he one of them confusing people?
He is an incredibly intelligent man.
No James.
Dead or alive?
I believe Noam Chomsky is still alive, but he is getting old. But it would behoove you to learn a bit about him. All right. Allow us to go on. Now, a lot of kids have a lot of problem with this page. What does the question say? Excellent. How many different ways can we write the equation of a line? 4. Slope-intercept, point-slope, general, and standard. When I say find the equation of the line, what do I mean?
Find the equation with what you know.
Any one of those 4. Because they are all the same. Remember how in our notes we made every one look like every other one? So they're all the same. So you only need to do this with the type that works with the question with which you have the question which you have been given. Does everybody understand? So, this very first question, 1A, what knowledge, what pieces of information have you been given in the question? You have been given a slope and what? A point. So what form would you use? Slope, point form. The one that is called what you have. And slope point form is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And these guys are what? They are the known point. So even if you don't know how this works, you could at least memorize that. And then write it out. Y minus, what's the known point? 1 equals m, what's the m? 3. X minus, what's the x? 2. Done. Now, of course, you could also have y equals 3x minus 5. You could have that too. You could also have 3x minus y minus 5 equals 0. And you could have And you could have 3x minus y equals 5.
Wow.
All of that is correct for 1 point. I do not care which one you use. Now, somebody usually asks me right now, when I say usual, I mean every single time I've ever taught this assignment to honors, to regular, to everyone, somebody always asks me, how do you get to there without going to there? Yes, you do. No, you do not. If you want to get to there without doing that, then you would be going to y equals mx plus b, wouldn't you? Do you have a y? Do you have an x? Do you have an m? So you have a b, don't you? What is y? 1. What is m? 3. What is x? 2 plus b. 1 equals 6 plus b. Minus 6 minus 6. Negative 5 equals b. Okay. Again, I cannot stress this enough. X, comma, y can be subbed in. All right? Everybody good? Awesome. Possums. What would I use in B? Because you all already did this. So all you have to do is look down at your paper and say what you did. Point slope. Y minus 4 equals negative 2/5 x minus 1, which is x plus 1. And that would get you a full mark. If you didn't like to do it that way, you would have done it in slope-intercept form, which would have been, it would have been negative 2/5 x minus 2/5 plus 4, 3 3/5, or 18/5. But I'm trusting that none of you did that. Did you get?
Yeah.
Okay then. For 1 mark. What are you going to use for C? I tricked you with C. How did I try to trick you? I used the x-intercept. So it is not y equals 2x minus plus 3, is it?
You almost said that.
Is it? No. The x-intercept is 3, 0. So it was y equals 2x minus 3, which is y equals 2x minus 6. I would accept either of them. What about this one? Do you have some points there? Yeah, you have 2 points. You could use those 2 points to find what? Slope. Once you have slope and 2 points. So you could write the equation that way, couldn't you? Could you also use general form here?
I use standard because it gives you a B to start.
You could use general form, right?
Yeah, but then it says it's not 0. People can get confused.
Yes, people could get confused. I would say that this m was negative 4/3, and then I would use that with both of them. I would actually only use the y-intercept because it would be y equals negative 4/3 x plus 4.
I got negative 3 over 4 because when I use standard form, it's 3x plus 4y
But-
equals. I just put b there.
But dude, 3x plus 4y equals 0.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
then I move the 3x, so move the 3x onto the other side. 4y equals 3x plus 2. Then it would be
4y equals negative 3x.
yeah, negative 3x. And
So
then-
y equals negative 3/4 x.
yeah, and the slope is negative.
Yeah, except that doesn't work. Yes, because I will show you why.
'Cause that's what
I will show you why. According to the question, our x-intercept is 3, right?
yeah.
1, 2, 3. And our y-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 4, correct? So you have to be aware that the slope is negative 4/3 because it's rise over run, right? Okay. You with me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So this point is 3, 0, yes? Right? So that point's x value is 3, yes? 3, 0, right? So since that's an x, it would go here, wouldn't it? So that would be 9, correct?
Okay, it just happens.
And that's 0, 4, right? So that's a y value of 4, right? So 9 plus 16 equals 0, does it? Does 9 plus 16 equal 0? No. Right? It would have had to have been four x plus 3y. But even that wouldn't work because, again, 4x would be 12 plus 12 would equal 0, right? You need that extra piece of it.
Okay, so you just gotta think.
Yeah.
And you just plot it there. And whatever number line you said. Okay.
This guy, y equals 3/4 x minus 4. Y minus 5 equals negative 2x. Or you could bring the 5 over. X-intercept of negative 2/3, slope of 5/6. So y equals 5/6.
Mr.
X.
In E, wouldn't you want to distribute 3/4 in the brackets first?
You could,
Okay.
but that's point slope form. Or you could have y equals 3/4 x minus 3. That's slope intercept form. This one is yucky, but you could leave it that way. You could also turn them into general form pretty easily. Whatever you want. And this guy, again, is the same as EFD. Right? You can find the slope and go from there. The slope is 2/5. So it is y minus 2 equals 2/5 x. Or y equals 2/5 x plus 5. They're the same thing. Or y equals 2/5 x plus 2. All of them are the same. And that whole page is out of 8. Does anybody have any questions about it? Anybody? Anybody? You will not be tested on this material. This is an assignment. Knowledge of this material will make the rest of your life easier. But it's not something I'm testing you on because it's not really part of grade 10, right? What are we doing here?
Grade 11.
No.
Oh.
What are we doing to do this? You learned the forms of the equation in the last unit, which you just had a test on. What are we doing right now? We're using it. We're manipulating it. We're doing grade 6 math, aren't we? All we're doing is algebra, right? I'm not going to test you in grade 10 exclusively on algebra. You should already know how to do that. Do perpendicular lines. Now, everybody should have done this question. That question is chock full of hints to how to do it. What are some of the key words? Perpendicular, which means what? Line 1 has an M. Line 2 is negative 1 over M, whatever it was. Yeah. What else is important?
It says it intersects on the Y
They
axis,
intersect on the y-axis,
but it doesn't tell you
which means
It just says
line
the same slope.
1 and line 2
Have the same Y intercept.
have the same B, don't they?
Yeah.
Excellent. One of the lines, that's the third key. One line is that. What can I do to that to make this information useful to me?
Make it slope in.
Make it slope intercept. Line 1 equals 2x plus 8 equals y, right? So that's the slope I have and the y-intercept that I have, correct? line 2 has what slope? Negative 1/2 x. And what y-intercept? Plus 8 equals y. There is my other equation. Yeah? For 2 marks. Any questions about how I went about finding it? Going once. Going twice. Going thrice. Excellent. Next question. What do we know? It's full of hints again. What are the hints? Perpendicular, which means one slope is rise over run, the other slope is negative run over rise, right? Oops, that should have highlighted. And what else do I know? No, we have 1 point. But that xy is in both lines, correct? I have one of the lines right here, do I not? Excellent. So I just need the other line. How do I do that? Okay, so y equals negative 2x minus 6, yes? That's line 1. But I need a perpendicular line to that. So line 2 has what slope? Positive 1/2. What else do I know about line 2?
That goes through
It goes through that point. Do I have a slope? Yes. Do I have a point? Yes. So do I have an equation? I do. Y plus 4, because it's minus minus 4, equals 1/2 x plus 1, because it's minus minus 1. Can I leave it that way?
Yeah.
Yes, of course I can. What will I do to you on a test? Because that is too easy. What will your 4 choices on a test be? Be in a different form, won't it?
Yeah, but I'm going to do that right now.
No, of course you're not, because I didn't ask you to. But you'd best know how,
Okay.
right?
As you distribute the 1/2 through the brackets first.
Everybody Gouda?
Oh, you do it
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Now, I want you to draw 3 lines. I know this unit was called writing equations, but if you don't know how the equations work, you're in trouble. How do I draw line A? And somebody choose a nice color for line A. No rush.
Dusty Rose, my God.
Purple for A. I got a dusty rose for B.
Go.
And who would like to choose the color for C?
Light blue.
Light blue for C. All righty.
Did it happen or not? Okay.
Dusty rose and light blue. So, how do I go about drawing the purple line? Where do I go?
You start at -3.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then how do I make a line? Because that's just a dot.
You have a slow. You have a slow.
Rise, over run.
And you can go the opposite way. Like that. That's so handy.
Excellent. Now, what do I do for B?
So
I do the same thing, except I do not start at the same point. Where do I start? -2, -1. And I have the same slope. So up 1, 2, out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 1, 2, and out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do I do for the last one? Start at negative 2, 1, but I need perpendicular now. So what do I do?
You go up 5 and
Up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
left.
Left 2.
That's right.
Good.
What are you doing? Did you do that over there?
Yes.
No, I don't think you did.
I did.
It's a long two.
Did I go?
I don't know. You held it in this time. I don't know.
Yes, I'm known for being able to control my impulses.
I don't know. Maybe you found your own Tourette's. I don't know.
People joke about Tourette's. It would be a horrible syndrome to have because everybody talks about it as, oh, you can swear whenever you want. That's one symptom of Tourette's.
Yeah.
There's 7. And it's not swearing whenever you want. It's an uncontrollable tick.
Yeah,
You get twitchy. You get. It's not a pleasant thing to have. Few syndromes are. And that, ladies and germs, is out of 3, making that page out of 7. What?
The one where you don't sleep, like people not to sleep.
Yes, that's another thing you can have. All right, there is 5. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Where do you go? The y-intercept is 6. So can it be either? Can it be A? No. Can it be B? No. Because you need a negative slope. So it must be C or D. Which is it? D as in doornail. Down 3 and right 4. Looks good to me. Rewrite this bad boy in general form, which means getting rid of what? Yes, you do.
The equal sign. That makes
No.
sense. You move the equal sign.
You need the equal sign. What must you get rid of there to make it general form? Pardon me, Damaris? Yes, you must get rid of the fraction, which means multiplying everything by what? 4. 4y equals x plus 8. X minus 4y plus 8 equals 0 because x must stay positive. So it is D, as in the doy, to quote 99. Und finally, no, not finally, number 7. Oh, so difficult. What do I know? So there is the x and the y that are in my line, correct? All right? That's half of what I need. You know that it is parallel to this. Parallel means it's got that slope. How do I use that to find the slope?
Do the thing.
Right, 0 minus 2 over 1 minus 9, which is negative 2 over negative 8, which is 1/4. So now I have a point and a slope. Y minus 10 equals 1/4 x minus 8. But I need slope-intercept form, so it's y minus 10 equals 1/4 x minus 2. Y equals 1/4 x plus 8. What did I do wrong, Green? Where? 0. Oh, yes, it should be plus 2. Thank you. So it should be negative 1/4. So this should be negative 1/4 plus 2. So it should be negative 1/4 plus what? 12. Good job, Green. That one I didn't do on purpose. Making that page out of 1, 2, 3. Und
I feel like I'm smarter whenever I have to do a review.
so, what do I know?
Nicole, where did you Oh, wait, no, you don't know the case. I forgot. You know the slope.
Do I know this slope?
Yeah.
What is it?
5/4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's the slope? Nope.
Why?
Negative 5/4.
Oh.
Well done. Now, once I know that slope, I need perpendicular to that slope. So what is it? What's the slope I am actually going to be working with? 4/5 has to equal what? Not y plus b. K minus 14 over 27 minus 12, which is 4/5 equals k minus 14 over 15. Ah! 60 equals 5k minus 70. 130 equals 5k. K equals 27. That's not right. 26. Yes, 26. And finally, what is that guy's slope?
Wrong.
Negative 4/7. Mm-hmm. Making that page out of 1, 2. Making the whole thing out of 2 and 5. 2 and 3 is 5. And 7 is 12. And 8 is 20. I will be getting that mark from you soon. All right. Is everybody ready
For what?
to enter our last unit?
No. I want to leave.
Our last unit together.
I'm ready to leave our last one. That's what I'm ready for after
Linear systems. I don't know what page number it is in your book, but it has the word linear system written with JF Rock Outcrop. I chose them. You think I just choose fonts willy-nilly? I research.
What do you research?
I research. They have to pass various rules. One, they have to have the numbers included. A lot of fonts don't have the numbers, so I won't take them.
The only font I can tell is Arial. Only font you'll
And the only juice I drink is apple.
add mangoes.
Kool-Aid is not juice. No, it's not considered juice. Who considers Kool-Aid juice?
What is it? It's not. What is it? What is this?
Kool-Aid? It's a cup of sugar and some food coloring and some artificial flavors. It's no juice.
I consider
Okay, do you guys know how we get juice, right? Like there isn't a tap on the tree.
You get it from the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, when he busts through the wall. Hey, hey, hey! Wait, that's Fat Albert. I can't remember what the Kool-Aid Man says. Oh yeah, that's what the Kool-Aid Man says. Juice. Oh, wait. You all think fruit by the foot's a fruit too, don't you? When you go to the wild jungles of Ecuador and you pick the elusive fruit by the foot tree and it comes off and you just unroll it. Oh, I see. The fruit by the foot people actually roll it up. It hangs off the tree in 3 foot. Oh, silly me. Of course. Well, I would obviously be dead if I was lost in the jungles. I wouldn't be looking for the elusive fruit by the foot tree. Oh my God. Kool-Aid is juice. Best and the brightest. Okay. At one point, you people are going to have children.
Nope. I didn't bring a kid into this world. You told me, you convinced me that this world's too screwed up to bring a kid into.
Dude, that's how you fix the world.
There's too much damage done already.
All right. That's appalling. All right. A system of equations. Okay. Notice it's in quotation marks because it's a term, right? A system of equations is a group of two or more equations with two or more unknowns. Okay, everybody with me? If there's two unknowns, there's two equations. If there's three unknowns, there's three equations. If there's seven unknowns, seven equations. Okay, they're all solved the same way.
Wow.
Okay, we are going to only solve two equation ones. Everybody cool? Let me give you an example. I got some, right one right here. 2x plus 3y equals 5. And 3x plus 2y equals 10. You cannot solve this with current algebraic planning, right? Why? Because you cannot isolate any one of those variables. Do you understand what I'm saying? You cannot tell me what this answer is using regular algebra because you have two unknowns. Is everybody with me? Okay. So this is a system. Everybody cool? Okay. Now, what then is a linear equation? Is what?
Any equation that represents linear data?
Okay, that's pretty explicit. A linear equation is a single equation with at least one unknown that has a constant rate of change, yes? Everyone agree? Everybody knows what all those words mean, right? So 2x plus 3y equals 5. 3y equals negative 2x plus 5. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5. There's my constant rate of change. Everybody cool? Notice it still has two unknowns.
Wouldn't you have to divide the whole side by 3 though?
Oh, I forgot to divide the 5 by 3. It still has two unknowns, correct? And we cannot put that on the graph until we do what? I have to find some unknowns by inputting what? A random number. Where would I input that random number? Either x or y, and I would then use algebra to find the other part of the coordinates, right? Okay, so you all know how to deal with that. Now, what then must a linear system be?
A bunch of those bad ones.
If a system is any two, and a linear equation looks like this, then what must a linear system be? Two or more linear equations. Excellent. Is a group of two or more linear equations. Everyone cool? Now, if a linear equation is made up of y and x, y equals 2x plus 5, yeah, that is made up of an infinite numbers of y's and x's, correct?
Holy crap.
Everyone agree? Okay. And now if I'm going to make that a system, y equals 5x plus 4. Now do I have a system?
All systems go.
Does everyone agree? I've got two equations. I've got my unknowns. Everything's cool, yeah? Okay. What do you think it means to solve a linear system? If I only had the blue equation here, what would be a way to solve it? What do you think I mean?
Give it a set of coordinates.
Give coordinates that do what?
And replace the x and y value.
That replace the x and y value and make the blue equation true, correct? Okay, how would I solve the red equation? Same thing, I would find x and y's that work in the red equation, right? But if I have both of them in one question, then what must I be looking for?
A different set of coordinates for each equation.
The same set of coordinates for each line. Everybody understand?
Exactly the opposite.
So to solve a linear system means to find the coordinate. I shouldn't say coordinates. Yeah, I'll say coordinates. To find the coordinates that satisfy all the equations in the system. Is everybody cool?
So it can't be just any number?
No. Everybody good? All right. There are 3 ways to do this. Today, we are going to do graphing. All right? So, come on. Ooh, that's new. All right. Now, this makes sense. To solve by graphing, you find where the lines cross. Why does that make sense? There's a red line. There's a blue line, correct?
Wow.
That point right there has an x and a y value, yes? That x and y is on the red line and the blue line. So it is the solution to that system. Is everybody good? What if I added a third line that went through there as well? Now I have the solution to how many variable system? Ah!
Oh, I remember that joke. That was a bad joke.
No such thing.
Then that doesn't. Then I'm gonna just say that.
So now I have the solution to a 3-equation system. Yes? Everybody cool? All right. So to do this, we must graph. The easiest way to graph, I find, is to use slope-intercept. What is M? Slope. What is B? Y-intercept. And then all we do is graph them and find where they cross. Is everybody cool? Let's do this thing. Solve this by graphing. I'm going to have an orange one and a purple one. What should I do to the orange equation so I can graph it easily?
Reverse O.
Pardon?
Y equals
Y equals negative x plus 4. I can now graph that in my sleep, can't I? Great. What am I going to do to the purple one?
the same damn thing.
Negative x plus 2y equals 2. 2y equals x plus 2. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Now I go and I graph it. There should be no reason to be confused now, dude. You just were tested on this. Where do I put the first dot for the orange line? Where's first dot go for the orange line? 4. On which axis? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do the next dots go? I can put another one out here at positive 4 on the x scale, can't I? Because my slope is negative 1. So, is everybody with me? Everyone cool? And of course I could connect that line, yes? Because it is continuous data. Agreed? All right. What do I do for the purple one? Where do I start? Plus 1. And what's my slope? Up 1 over 2. Oh, look what happens. Right there. What is that point? 2, 2. That 2 is an x, isn't it? That 2 is a y, isn't it? Here's the last step that none of you will do, but I'm going to show you anyway because it's my job. 2x. What letter is that? So what can I write there? 2. 2y. What letter is that? What letter is that? Y. So what can I write there? Y. 2. Is 2 plus 2 4?
Yeah, man.
Way to go, Luke. So, does 2, 2 work in my first equation? Yes. What letter is that? X. What number can I write there? 2. Negative 2. Plus. What letter is that? What number can I write there? What's 2 times 2? Is negative 2 plus 4, 2. So, do I have the solution? Yes. Will any of you remember to check? No. You will assume you have done it right. I, of course, on your test will give you systems that are technical. There'll be negatives all over the place, or fractions, or something like that. And you, of course, will not check. Even though, what did I write right there?
Can you go back up just to make sure I did it all right? Because I don't want to be confused for the whole unit.
No, you'll be confused for 1/5 of the unit, because as you can see, there are 5 lessons. This is only the first one. Yeah? Great. You guys do this one. I'm going to use Dusty Rose and Smoggy Gray.
That's disgusting.
What do I need to do to Dusty Rose to make it graphable? Go. What do I need to do to Smoggy Gray to make it graphable? Go. Oh, I graphed my Smoggy Gray one wrong.
That's what happens when you eat Smoggy Gray, man. It's disgusting.
When you have an answer, pretend you're a shark. Dun 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 dun. What is the answer? 2 negative 3. Why should everyone have been able to tell me an answer? Because you checked it. Every single question in this entire unit, there is no reason to give me a wrong answer, is there?
Wait, what is it?
Because as soon as you check it, if it doesn't work in both equations, is it the right answer?
Yes.
Some of you will hand it in that way.
What if it is when you graph it, if it intersects at that one point, you automatically know it, and that's checked?
No, because you guys graph poorly sometimes. That's why you check. For example, I am going to show you what I did, even though it's recorded. And I'm going to use green to do so. When I did Smoky Gray, I did a slope of positive 2. So I went down this way. Now, the pink guy would eventually hit way down here, yes? And it would give me a cross, wouldn't it? It would give me coordinates, yeah? But if I ran those coordinates through here, it would be wrong. I would not have handed it in. Okay? Now, there is something new in number 3 that some of you will never have seen. And it is this notation. Now, Some of you will have seen that notation, especially if you're from another country. Some of you will not have seen that notation. Is there anybody in the room? Well, I shouldn't say that. There are people in the room that have never seen that, right?
I've never seen that in my life.
Okay. Those type of brackets, and I'm calling them brackets, even though they're not really. They are what is called, and I'm doing this for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. They are what is called absolute value. Now, absolute value, think back to Unit 5. Everybody remember the difference between a speed and a velocity. What is the difference? They're both rates.
Something per...
Yep. That makes it a rate. So if I'm driving down the highway at 110 kilometers per hour, I'm driving at a speed. Everybody understand? I am also driving at a velocity. Which is which?
They're both the same.
I am driving 110 kilometers on the highway. I'm driving 110 kilometers west on the highway. Which is speed? The number, which is velocity. The one with the direction, because velocity is a vector, yes?
I never remember that.
Absolute value is a scalar. It has no direction. So let me show you what I mean. There's a reason I'm doing this. That is a number line, correct? Number line has how many directions? 2. It is either positive or negative. Everybody with me? That is a vector. If I say -2, you know you are going left 2. Everyone understand? Absolute value is a scalar. It is only a distance. So if I tell you that I want you to go the absolute value of 2 away from 0, where can I go? I could go this way or this way. Does everybody understand? Essentially what it means is you take the direction out of the equation. So, if I told you what is the absolute value of -4?
-4.
No. Negative is a direction.
Oh.
So what is the absolute value of -4? 4, because I moved 4 steps from 0.
Oh.
Does everybody understand? Everybody cool? All right, now there's a reason I'm doing this, okay? Since you don't know how to deal with this in a 10th grade way, let's deal with it in a 9th grade way. How would you graph this green guy if you were in the 9th grade? What did you use to graph in the 9th grade?
Table of values.
Table of values. So let's use one. X and Y. Which column should I fill in with numbers? X, because it's the input, right? Give me some numbers. 5, 4, 3.
24.
Again, this is when I prove to myself that you guys don't actually understand what is happening with math. Look at the size of our graph. Is 24 a reasonable number to choose? Is 24 a reasonable number to choose by somebody who is confused fairly regularly? Excellent. Now, somebody give me some numbers that make sense. 1, 2, 3. 3 will be enough. What half of infinity is missing right now? The negatives. -1, -2, -3. Correct? So, when x is 1, how far, I would write a 1 right there, yes? How far have I moved from 0? 1. Can there be a direction? No, so it is 1. Everybody cool? So, if it's 2, what is this? If it's 3, what is this? Excellent. If it's 0, what is it? 0. Great. -1. 1. -2. 2. -3. 3. Graph it. It's going to look weird. 0, 0, that's easy. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, that's easy. Negative 1, what? 1. Negative 2, 2. Negative 3, 3. And you get this construction. It's a V. Now, next year, I lie. Oh, wait. In IB, yes, I think next year you will be dealing with these things. Except they will have curves in them. If you look on the back board, no, these are called hyperbola. If you look on the back board, Veronica, could you stand up for me, please? Walk towards the back board. Lift your left hand. Move your left hand a little bit to the left. That. Now, the one right in front of your head. That. And the one by your right shoulder. No, right shoulder. Shoulder. Down. There. That. Those 3 things you will learn how to graph. Thank you, Veronica. Those are absolute value functions. So, I have a line on the graph, correct? Everybody cool? Okay. Is this a system? Is this a linear system? Do I have 2 or more equations? Yes. Do they both have 2 unknowns? Yes. Do they graph straight lines? Yes. So this is a linear system. So that must mean that if I graph the red line, what would I do to graph the red line? Where would I go? Up to 3, 1, 2, 3, and then what? Up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, and where else? Down 1, left 2. And what do you see when you graph that line? It intersects twice. If an intersection is a solution, then how many solutions does this system have? 2. What are they?
Negative 2,
6, 6, and negative 2, 2. And then we check. We know it works here, and 6 and 6 we know works there. Half of 2 is 1, right? Or, sorry, half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2. And we know 2, 2 works there. Is everybody with me? Everybody cool? What if I graphed, and this is just, what if the graph was a curve like that? How many solutions would that one have?
Still have 2. No, just 1. If we use that line, we would have 2.
If I use all 3 lines, is there any solution? No. If I use the blue and the green, is there a solution? How many? 2. If I use the blue and the red, is there a solution? How many? 2. Excellent. What if I gave you this? And you will be learning how to do this. How many solutions for purple and blue? 2. How many solutions for purple and green? 2. How many solutions for purple and red? 1. Good. What if I gave you this? Green and blue. Dark green and blue. 4. Everybody with me? Everybody cool? Okay. But for grade 10, you only need the lines. You're not worrying about curves yet. Is everybody cool? Great. Finish the day off with 10 minutes of working on page 275.